Hello, ladies and gents of good old YouTube. We've got another stand video for you today. Again, we're going with the PS4 theme, and we're going to be going with CheweyBadge in the Panther 2 on El Haloof Rain variant. As we're starting off, we're going to be looking at what it is that is playing well and what's not so playing well, and also why it is that certain ways in which the gameplay is being played is done. So basically, if there's a certain type of play that is in a scenario where it needs to be done, you generally will find it in these videos, because a lot of the people that feature will have very, very good situational awareness and knowledge of what their tank can do and what their tank can't do, and be able to place it into an appropriate situation where you can maximise the amount of damage and basically go on to win the game. One thing you'll notice straight away from CheweyBadge is he's getting situational awareness built up, figuring out where his own team are going, and at the same time moving his camera around to be able to tell what tanks are coming his direction. With that in mind, you can figure out, can I push forward, can I have the backup, do I have the right type of tanks that are coming towards me? If I do, I can go forward. If not, I can figure out whereabouts I can go and sit in a corner and shoot people before I jump off the edge and die, because no one's followed me. So at the moment we have a good spread of decent heavy tanks coming towards the main focal point of El Haloof, and you also have some people sitting back trying to stop people coming across, causing a stalemate. You want to try and push them back. There's no artillery in the game, so you can happily sit out in the open if you want to and make sure that people aren't coming up. So as we're going forward, Badge straight away is going to be very, very aggressive. It's going to be pushing forward and stopping people from moving to any point on this centre part of the map. This is so good. If you can force people to sit back, especially on El Haloof, in this point, you stop them being able to flank you. You take the initiative in having 2 or 3 different open options to run forward. You can sit people where the light tank is going and stop them coming up behind you and keep them further back, and then you can slowly but surely erode the other team's tanks away and then go forward and win the game. At the moment, this is primarily what's happening. We've got a massive clump of tanks who are all stuck together, and Chewey's going forward, and he's looking at when people are firing. So mainly the Tiger and the T-32 are the ones that can hit him. The other ones behind are slightly further away. Fortunately, the Tiger brings himself forward where he can get shot, but he's looking at seeing when these types of tanks are actually going to fire. If he can roll forward and get a damaging hit and not get hit himself, that is perfect, especially when you're top tier in a very, very good tier 8 tank when it's played well. In this type of game, it does prove itself as being one of those tanks. So you can see the main thing at the moment is a lot of the other people have moved back because the stalemate hasn't worked too well. So he's only got 2 tanks that he has to take care of. Now what you can do with this one, if you're in the middle of a reload, press and hold your RB button to lock on. Move your camera around to the side, you can see the position of enemy turrets when they're pointing and the enemy tanks themselves. Doesn't quite do this in this one, but he's counting more or less the reload of the T-32, so he can know when he can move around to take shots and when he can't. Gets a very fortunate balance off the Centurion and takes him down a bit. And this is one of the other things you need to do when you're playing the game, is to, if you have the same tank you can do, but count the reloads of the tanks that are firing. In the case of the T-32, he will 100% be firing straight away as soon as he's reloaded. So you can take that into account and figure out your own reload. If you time it right, you can get 2 shots in before he's able to get a single shot off, and then you can get double the amount of damage and roll back and wait for his reload and start again. As he goes forward and is aggressive, he's able to take out the Centurion and the T-32 with a nice ram kill on him, and again it brings his other team forward. This is where it starts getting really interesting, because the other team has figured that things haven't gone so well around this corner. As you can see, there's the M6 in front of him and a Type 59 to the right. You could say that the Type 59 would have been the better target to go for, but he does have a lot of people behind him, so there's absolutely no real need to probably go for it, because it is likely that when he turns around and goes back, he's going to have a lot of people already taking him out, so he might as well go forward and remove other tanks from the game. The M6 being one of them, and it's not really an actual HVT in the game itself because it's only tier 6, but at the same time it's still another tank with another gun. In this situation here, I would have probably gone for the T-29 on the basis it's got full health, and the Type 59 has got other people coming towards him. Unfortunately, he does go over a slight little bump which pushes his gun up. Magically at the same point he fires, and you don't know how many times that happens. And another one is, if you're going to be firing at tanks on the move, try not to fire at them when you're going sideways onto them, parallel to them, and you're travelling down alongside, because you're less likely to hit. What you need to be trying to do is to head straight towards them in a straight line, or as straight as you can be, and you'll have a high degree of chance of hitting them, and this is a really good example of that. So he RBs onto the target, fires forward, and is then able to get the actual kill on the target. that's travelling forward. Only obviously we use it when you can. There are times when you're going to have to be firing sideways on a target, so you might as well take the RNG chance. You're going to be moving forward, likely to go into cover. Just take the chance and go for it. As you can see now that the game has progressed further on, a lot of the people who push around and were aggressive because they saw that their own team, specifically CheweyBadge in this case, moving forward, they came to help him. They came to push around with him. And that is basically cakewalk the entire other team. They weren't able to do anything because they were in a really poor position to start. Now at the moment the T-32 is sort of in the middle, and I would prefer to go for the higher targets, mainly because of the XP and the silver earnings you can get. And I know that the T-32 in this case is probably still an easy hit. He's likely to be aiming at some other people, and considering the map, he is likely he's going to be facing uphill, so you're always going to have a rear shot. But there is still another medium tank that's yet to be spotted or detected again. So you're sort of judging where's best to go. So at the moment he's going to be going forward. He's going to be trying to remove the guns from the game, not specifically the tiers. A lot of the times getting the gun out of the game is the more beneficial part of how you play it. And now it's at the point where it's just going to be a case of trying to get as much damage as possible, get that XP, and then move on and see how good your silver earnings is. The T-29 gets a bit fortunate with the shot that's RB'd, so there are a lot of times when RBing a target isn't really the ideal thing if you're trying to go for the damage, and there are other times when it is really quite useful, especially if you're going to be trying to circle a tank and go around the back of it. You can get away with it. Sometimes RNG control you, like in an E100 case, does it to me all the time, but then it just depends on the scenario and the situation that you're currently in. So we're coming up now on the Type 59 on their team, which has been detected. I don't quite understand why he went up the top. He's a top tier medium tank and he's sitting back with full health, so he hasn't really helped his team out. But in this situation, I would have stayed back to shoot him because he was aiming at other people. I don't like getting my tank damaged as much as what I should do, but I'm still an aggressive player, so I'd prefer to try and maximise the amount of damage I get, especially playing solo, than I would if I was to just go forward and YOLO and lose a bit of damage. The Type 59 is a very, very powerful tank, and also its rate of fire is very, very good. The Panther 2 can be a bit hit and miss in regards to whether it's actually going to side scrape properly. And because he's got full health, I wouldn't want to take him head on because there's a good chance I'm going to die. Fortunately, the Type 59 is not able to get hit on him and then gets distracted by tanks to his right, so he's able to get hit, avoid being hit himself and then being killed, and then he can go on and remove the tank in the game. Again, the RBing works in that case because the Type 59 is moving slowly, but if you're both moving parallel to each other, it is better to just zoom in and try and take a leading shot on him. Fortunately in this case he's able to get the 6th and final kill, get himself top gun and have an absolutely monstrous game with 22 damaging hits, which is nigh on unbelievable, especially in a tier 8 tank, and you can see the amount of damage that he's able to do in the game considering his silver earnings and premium, which could have been a lot more with a premium account. Mate, there's absolutely no reason why that tank is not very, very good, and you can see how playing aggressively not just benefits you, but it's got the game win for their team. And because he played aggressively, he brought his team forward. His team recognised that that was going to be what was happening. You can see from the scoreboard at the end, that's pretty much what happened. They cakewalked the entire team. So hopefully, with this, you got some good tips on primarily the aggressive and the situational awareness. There will be a situational awareness video up on what it is that you're going to be looking to do from the very basics to the more advanced features. So I'll pop that up, and hopefully, if you like this video, don't forget to like it. There's going to be going to set a minimum limit, seeing as the previous video from Anglo-Saxon got 15. If he's able to get 20 likes on the vids, we'll be able to look at doing a special little prize for CheweyBadge. See how that goes, because we kind of hit 15 likes very, very quickly on the previous video. So like I say, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you did like the video, don't forget to leave a comment if you've got any ideas of what you'd like to see in the future, and I'll look to try and do them for you.